Ladies and gentlemen, HitKid Worldwide here. I've just got in from university. And welcome to Take the Shot. Yeah, no musical intro, none of that goodness. To say I'm pissed today would be an understatement. Because pissed is an understatement. And ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of a follow-on from episode 2 of Take the Shot. As yeah, we're following on, and by the way, I will be making a playlist soon of this, so you can hear just my rants and ravings of this. We are playing Fortnite in the background, of course, because this is a gameplay channel here still. So, what do you call it? So yeah, we've got to have a bit of gameplay, because this is still a gaming channel, because I like to play video games. But yeah, I'm pissed off. And it's a follow-on from episode 2. Because in episode 2 I talked about the mess of the boxing heavyweight division. That was a couple of months ago after the Fury deal. That was last year, near enough. Oh boy! Is my mood over the heavyweight division of boxing even worse now, after the news what's happened today? So let's do a rundown of what's happened in the past 2 weeks. And I also want to make a brief mention to something at the end, which is non-boxing related, but let's get into our main subject. So, it was last Saturday? No, it was May the 18th. May the 18th, which was 2 Saturdays ago, not last Saturday, the Saturday before. We saw Deontay Wilder knock out Dominic Breazeale in spectacular fashion, it has to be said, with a round 1 overhand right hand, which put Dominic Breazeale sleepy time. He slept him. Cold as ice, ready to sacrifice, slept Dominic Breazeale. Breazeale got KTFO'd. Wilder knocked him the fuck out. One of the biggest statement wins in Deontay Wilder's career against Dominic Breazeale. No, he goes on to mention Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, who fights this Saturday night against Joe Louis Jr. happening live in Madison Square Garden. I'll be watching on Sky Box Office here from the UK. As it's Joshua's turn now to get through his challenger. So we know this may not be the most appealing fight on paper. Originally this was supposed to be Jarrell Miller, big baby from Kansas City, but he got popped for PEDs. Joshua originally tried to get the fight, as well reported by Michael Benson and others, and via IFL TV, with, Luis Ortiz, King Kong. That deal did not happen, unfortunately, due to what it seemed like was a screw-up on Team Ortiz's end. Not the fight, but the man promoting him. The man promoting Luis Ortiz. But off that, we now have the, now though Joshua needs to focus. Joe Louis Jr., who I watched. I didn't know much about, I'll be clear, didn't know much about Joe Louis Jr., but went back and watched his fight against Joseph Parker, while Parker was, the fight where Parker became WBO champion. And a fight which was in New Zealand, and to be honest, if you watch that fight back, Joe Louis Jr. should have won that fight. That was another dodgy decision Parker got. Not the first, look at the one against Fury. I still think that's a robbery to this day, but we're not going to digress on that too much. So Joe Louis Jr. is capable. And is he capable of shocking the world? Probably not likely, many boxing fans' opinion, mine included. I am backing Joshua to do the business here this weekend, but credible opponent. For this credible replacement opponent, not the first choice in many people's opinion, but a credible replacement. So, Joe Louis Jr. is set to fight Anthony Joshua. Joshua does the job. Hopefully then we can get into talks of Wilder versus Joshua for the end of the year. As we know, Tyson Fury is fighting Tom Schwartz. Rumour has it Tyson Fury is going to be fighting Dillian Whyte at the end of the year, should Dillian Whyte get past this July encounter with Oscar Rivas. Which, by the way, I think is a really good fight. Another hurdle, though, for Dillian Whyte to jump through because of the WBC. Who, by the way, I will be laying into here. I think Mauricio Sullivan needs to be laid into a little bit here. But unfortunately, we're not even going to be talking about Joshua versus Wilder for a bit, because now Deontay Wilder has signed to meet Luis Ortiz in a rematch for, what do you call it? For the WBC title, rumour has it, this September. So what does that do to the heavyweight landscape? Simple. It fucks everything up. Joshua now, should he get past Joe Ruiz Jr., I guess what might be in Joshua's best interest is to fill in a mandatory against Kubrat Pulev. Who, by the way, I agree he beat Huey Fury that time, but I don't rate, and I think Joshua would pick him apart. They were originally supposed to fight in Cardiff, if you think, years ago, when unfortunately Pulev got injured, so Carlos Takam will be in it, had to step in, and got picked apart from Joshua in the end. But that is a fight you could say Joshua's waited a little while for. It's a bit overdue, so Joshua, I can see taking that fight and maybe trying to get rid of one of his mandatories. Set himself up for Wilder. But if we're going on Deontay Wilder right now, why do this? Why do this? Because there's been the argument from the Wilder fanboys and from the Joshua fanboys. I'm definitely Camp Joshua, being a UK citizen. But just as a neutral boxing fan, look at the opinions you were getting today. I mean, I saw hashtag Bum Squad trending on Twitter in the UK earlier on today. And it's possibly like that worldwide as well. Because my god, is this not a good look for you to announce this fight. Like 4 days. 4 days, ladies and gentlemen. Before the big Joshua Joe Ruiz fight. You're not even giving the boxing fans hope here of any talk of a unification fight coming. Yeah, Deontay Wilder's always had this saying, one face, one champion. What is it? One face, one champion? What's the one champion bit in deciding to fight Luis Ortiz again? No, I get why Wilder may want to do this. I understand if it's a promotional tactic, but it's a massive disappointment for the boxing fan. Like, let me be clear. And there is a case here. You can understand why Wilder would want to fight Luis Ortiz. Because even though Wilder won that fight by a 10th round knockout the first time they met, a case can be made that that fight should have been stopped in round 7 when Luis Ortiz beat the fucking piss out of Deontay Wilder in that 7th round. And he beat the shit out of him. And that's an understatement. So you can see why maybe Wilder wants the refight. Wants the rematch. And by the way, the fight could have been stopped in round 7. Many people are still saying the fight could have been stopped. So there is that bit of controversy if you Deontay, and I get that, but you're not even going to give the fans any hope that a deal between you and Joshua's team can be agreed. I mean, hell, you turned down 100 million from DAZN to have the, what do you call it, the pre-sale mandatory defense, and then this fight against Joshua. Like, the look is simple. It comes off like Wilder is ducking Josh. Wilder comes off right now as a ducker. Is that a look Deontay Wilder wants? I mean, be clear, hell no. Deontay Wilder's one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world. He has a right hand, which I will admit, if it detonates on Anthony Joshua, Joshua will not be getting up from. I mean, Joshua, like, credit Anthony Joshua in the world for when he dealt with, what do you call it, Klitschko. He got up from a heavy knockdown. But if Wilder lands that right hand, I don't care who you are. Like, I still don't get how Tyson Fury rose like the fucking Undertaker during that fight where, by the way, and I will make this clear, I think Tyson Fury won that fight, as do many boxing fans. But, like, somehow Tyson Fury rose like the fucking Undertaker from that knockdown to get up and was screwed out of it by the judges. And yeah, we can go into the WBC on that because I think they had a hand in those judges, because my god, how that was a draw, I don't know. Fury outboxed Wilder's head off. Wilder can be outboxed, but he does have that golden ticket of a weapon known as the right hand. He lands it on anyone, you go and sleep. It's sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, as the saying goes. And that is a huge thing to have in the heavyweight division. I also think Joshua has that same sort of power. Maybe Maybe not the direct power, one-punch power of Wilder has, but Joshua has that power. I mean, look at the people Joshua has put away. I mean, you think of Charles Martin, you think of Klitschko. I mean, getting back up off the canvas to deal with one of the most acclaimed heavyweights in the history of boxing. Yeah, that's a shotgun. Shotgun out man's assault rifle. That's a bit disappointing, but we'll get into it next game. But how do you put it? Getting up off the canvas off a heavy knockdown and then putting Klitschko away. And I know there could be the Klitschko as an old man argument. That's not the best win. Then he fights, what do you self? Then he fights, what do you call it? He fights, who is it? Fights Takam because he was originally supposed to fight Pulev then. That may now be at the end of the year, beginning of next year. December, January, if he gets past Joe Ruiz Jr. But, I think it'll be like November, hopefully. But, took on Takam, dispatched with Takam, dispatched with Dominic Breazeale, and then Alexander Povetkin his last fight. Well, let's be honest, Joshua got marked up. Povetkin with that stance, southpaw stance, and marked Joshua up. Busted off Joshua's nose, broke Joshua's nose. But Joshua, once he landed on Povetkin, and Povetkin, who had never been stopped, is credited as one of the top 10 heavyweights in the world. Top 6, top 7. Like, you have your top 4, you put Povetkin, like, 5th or 6th. Joshua knocked him out. Povetkin got up to his feet, but was stopped by his corner and saved from further punishment. So to say Joshua does not have the power is a joke. But now he's going into fighting Joe Ruiz Jr. And you wonder why Wilder doesn't want to fight Joshua. Because that's what I'm really beginning to think about now. And for me, it's a real simple thing. I think Joshua, I think many fans would agree, we all think Joshua's the better boxer than Wilder. But we all want to see it because we think both men have been hurt. Both men we know can land a knockout blow. It's a 50-50 fight. So then why in the fuck would Wilder agree to fight Luis Ortiz? How many more pre-fights? There's also been, like, it's been rumoured on IFL TV by Krug and Cassius, and when Eddie Hearn's done interviews, that the Wilder plan is Luis Ortiz rematch and then Adam Kalnacki. No disrespect to Adam Kalnacki, great talent, but I'd like to see you go against Povetkin. And Povetkin or hell, greet Usyk when it comes to the heavyweight division, Kalnacki, please. Like, that's the fact I'd like to see Adam Kalnacki in, because no disrespect to Adam Kalnacki, looks a good fighter, or hell, go against the Joe Joyce. But what have you done to make us believe you deserve a world heavyweight title shot? And that's my question with Joe Joyce, with Adam Kalnacki. Same goes with Joe Joyce. Like, Joe Joyce destroyed a guy on the Billy Joe Saunders undercard, Usumov, and like he wrecked him. But like, you asked the same question about Joe Joyce. Like, you need this name win. I know he destroyed Benjamin Stiver, but that's nothing to be fucking proud of. Stiver came in pathetic, if we're being honest. But like, we would like to see Joe Joyce. Like, I think Adam Kalnacki versus Joe Joyce is a really nice fight. I don't know if it'll be made, but I would like to see that. For Tom, we all know Tyson Fury set to take on Tom Schwartz. Fury set to possibly go against the winner of Dillian Wright, Oscar Rivas after that, for the diamond belt of the WBC. And that's where I'm going to go into the WBC here. And I know they won't listen to this, because they don't listen to any of the fans. But like, here's a quick question for the WBC. And I just mean this fairly. If Deontay Wilder has signed this rematch with Luis Ortiz, which will be a voluntary, and you're going to put the diamond belt on, instead of us having to deal with the Adam Kalnacki, Deontay Wilder fight, what PBC, Al Heyman, and Shirley Finkel want to do, which, by the way, I know will get biased in America, but it won't sell out or anything. I mean, Jesus Christ, the Wilder Breazeale fight only pulled 6,000 in the Barclays, rumour has it. And Barker sent us like a 13,000-14,000, so that's bad. I mean, Joshua's fight sold out MSG. And yet we're supposed to have this argument who the bigger draw is. Please. But like, here's the point. Can you not maybe get involved if Wilder does defeat Ortiz? And be like, okay, we have to get involved here. We're either making the winner of, we're either going to make you fight the winner of White versus Rivas. Which is possible. Fury may turn down the White fight. Or if White goes on to fight Fury, the winner of that. Or you can order unification. which everyone wants. Like, I would order unification. I'd be like, should Joshua get past his probably mandatory against Pulev? The first fight we are demanding be made ordered for 2019, for 2020, is Joshua versus Wilder. And I would make it unification. I would demand it. I would mandate it if I'm the WBC. But that's not going to happen because we think Mauricio Sutherland has let Wilder... I mean, he let Wilder get away with having Dominic Breazeale as a mandatory. I'm sorry. How long has Dillian White? Dillian White has been 500 plus days as the silver champion. Yet he couldn't get mandatory. And that's no disrespect to Dominic Breazeale, even though he got knocked out in a round. It's just a joke. But now you're seeing the boxing community here turn against Deontay Wilder. And it is the thing. Deontay Wilder, let's be honest, let's be honest, he hasn't put himself in the best fight. I mean, all this talk of having a body on my fucking record. It's not putting himself in a good light. And here today, like, it's been bad press after bad press after bad press. And then he goes on to mention this today. Today, about the fucking, what do you call it? Making this fight 4 days before the Joshua fight. There's the question now the boxing fans have to ask Deontay Wilder. Are you even interested in being the greatest? And that's the shame of it. That's the question boxing fans are asking him. Is there even a remote interest in being the greatest heavyweight in the world today, Deontay? Because why would you announce this fight? Why won't you even give Joshua, who more than likely gets past that day, the chance to negotiate with you? It's just upset. It's upsetting for the boxing fan. Like, I'm speaking here, pissed off and upset. But we're going to watch the Joshua fight this Saturday. I'm going to watch it. Be live reacting on Twitter. We'll see what happens from there. But overall, I think Deontay Wilder comes off horrible in this situation. But I don't even think it's him. I think it's his fucking management team. I would fire a lot of them. We just got to hope the fight gets made in the future. Be all end all. Hopefully next year. Hopefully. But off that, all I'm going to say is Joshua do the business. And let's get Wilder Joshua made for 2019. Seeing that's the month. Even though I don't think Team Wilder, not Wilder himself, Team Wilder doesn't want the fight. But off that, let's quickly end on this note. And I'm going to end on something different. Talk is Jericho today, which I've been currently listening to. Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose in the WWE. My God, did that man shoot? Like, Jesus Christ. And by the way, if you thought the fire alarms off weren't going off in WWE after what happened this Saturday with All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing, by the way, go and watch that show. It is a classic show. It is massively enjoyable. I would recommend everyone to go and watch it and watch wrestling history. But like, what do you call it? What Moxley said, and there's one line in particular where he said, I'm not even going to mention that line over when Roman was just battling leukemia, and he said, and he even goes on to say to Chris Jericho, if I would have mentioned this line, which the creative writing team gave me, and I don't know if it was Vince, if it was someone in creative, we would have lost sponsors. WWE would have lost sponsors, and I probably would have been fired. Can you imagine? You know how, like, it was hot garbage before from the WWE creative team, like an open fire pit? Can you imagine what it's like there today? What the rumblings are going on that commentary right now after what Moxley just shooted with Jericho? And by the way, here's the worst thing. It's a PR disaster. It is a public relations disaster. But I'm going to be listening into the rest of it after we are done here, which I'm about to conclude. And, well, what do you call it? And giving overall thoughts. Later on this week, Best at Super Juniors. I've been enjoying that. I'll be continuing watching that. Also, make sure you tune into commentaries I do for Virtual Wrestling, DCA, the TPGW, WFS, UCWL, the now Saddle Defense CCL. So make sure you tune in for all them. But yeah, crazy fucking controversial episode this is. Gonna watch the boxing this Saturday. We'll probably be up with a new rant next week, so I'm gonna try and make this more of a weekly series. I thank everyone for watching. If you do take time to watch this in your day, thank you. We appreciate it. And well, from Hickey Worldwide, I am signing off. I will see you on the next Take the Shot whenever I need something to unleash. But thank you and goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.